Guys, welcome again to our Monday sales training call. We have a special guest. Claude, you with us? Can you hear me all right?
What's going, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal, man. How are you?
I'm blessed and favored.
Amen, amen. I love that backdrop too, man. That's a nice office you got there.
It's real. It's a real one.
It's not fake. That's what's up. Real nice, man. Well, hey, first of all, thanks for taking some time out to join our call. I want to take maybe 30, 40 minutes of your time today. One of the things we like to do in this format is I'll just kind of have you introduce yourself to everybody. I'll ask you some questions, and we'll also open up the floor for anybody that has questions to be able to drop them in the chat. Or, well, yeah, let's keep it that way. That way I could kind of screen the questions. So drop them in the chat as we're talking if you guys have questions. But Claude, I'm not going to steal your thunder. I want you to introduce yourself to everybody. I kind of gave them a little bit of your background, but if you can, just go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. Let them know, your background, how long you've been with FFL, and how you found Family First Life.
Got it, man. Well, first off, thanks for for having me on, man. I've seen a couple of times. We haven't talked ad nauseum. Last time we talked a little more, and I've always admired your videos when I got started watching on YouTube. So I appreciate being on, man. I really do. I have been FFL for 3.5 years. I sold insurance prior for about 2.5 years, off and on at a smaller comp, right? So didn't have a team, didn't come from anywhere else with a big team. I came here as an independent agent by myself. In actuality, man, I actually seen a Google ad, I guess, with Sean on there. And it was one that said our comp is 140 if you want to negotiate, something like that. Call me. It was a long time ago, but it was an Addy ad. And at the time, it went right to his cell phone. So, I called in and here I am today.
Nice and easy. I like that. So, and you said you had some insurance experience. Was it life insurance? Because I know sometimes we have folks that come.
It works. Yeah. So I worked for a union company, and we basically had leads and had a little smart comp, but kind of much the same thing. I was calling leads, doing everything. I was already used to working, right? I already had a little idea of what it took.
Perfect, man. And talk to us a little bit about that real quick. Some of the things that you saw that was different here, because it's like, when you're born into a good family, sometimes you don't know until you talk to your friends. You're like, oh man, you don't have this at your house. And so, but you had that opportunity to come from somewhere else. And what were some of those things that attracted you to Family First Life?
Got it. Well, you gotta understand, this was 3.5 years ago. So it wasn't the same FFL it is today. When I got here, Andrew was doing $500K a month, maybe.
Wow.
So it wasn't as appealing as it is now. I really appreciated the transparency Sean had with me, and the time he took to talk to me on the phone, because so in the same breath, I seen a good ad, but logic said I sold insurance for 2.5, 3 years at a 50% comp. They're saying 140. What's the small print? So I Googled the company and I seen some bad reviews. So when I talked to Sean on the phone, I almost articulated the bad reviews. Like, so I heard this, I heard that, I heard this, I heard that. And he would basically, he let me ask all my questions, and he basically asked what I finished, and Sean Mike, the way he does it. And I was like, yep, that's all I got. Then he goes, well, this, I never forget what he said to me. He says, you seen the movie NWA? I went, yeah. He goes, do you remember the part where the press said all those bad things, negative things about the rap group, and then they went on to sell millions? That's gonna be us. I was like, damn, mic drop.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I was like, for sure, that's looks good. And so really what I identified very much early on, of course, was a commission level and the leads. That really hit home because I was used to bait and switch leads, being honest. So to be able to help clients that were looking for life insurance, that's uncommon in this space. So if you're brand new looking at this, you gotta understand the norm is not to have leads and pay you. You usually have to choose one, either to get leads and don't get paid, or get paid and get no leads. So usually those things aren't married, right? So I seen that, but then my first 12 days in, because I believe that, Jermaine, you probably think the same way. We're constantly recruiting ourselves and we're recruiting our team members. You can do well 5, 15, 20 days and then have a rough day and call it quits. So as I got more deep into business, I seen Sean was a leader's leader. Sean was the kind of guy, Jordan, Kobe Bryant like. He was not the kind of guy that's gonna get a Ferrari and ride to the sunset and leave us in a Corolla or Camry. Yeah. I got that vibe very early on. So I seen that the leadership, man, he was relentless about winning. And that's attractive because that's really what all the books, entrepreneur videos tell you to do. They tell you to grind like that. They tell you to not get complacent. They tell you to stay hungry. So I've never seen that in my face in life insurance. He was the first person I've ever seen that was wealthy, that was so much of a grinder in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Absolutely, man. That makes sense. And he to this day, I'm still surprised because we're in that, I don't know if you're in one of the text groups, and I mean, he'll send out a text, late night, early morning.
4 in the morning.
Yeah. And I'm like, this guy could be on an island that he bought and he's doing this. It just really sets a standard, as far as work ethic and what it means to continue to give back, which is what we're all about here. I say that to new agents all the time, like, we're that company that we're going to continue to pour in and not be complacent. So I'm glad that's something that you connected with. So talk to us a little bit about you getting started, because we've got a lot of new agents on this call, man, that are just getting started with us and wondering, hey, what's my first 30, 60, 90 days going to be like? What's possible? So what was that like for you?
Yeah. So I love this. I got this from my boy Kitchens. He tries to get a new agent to understand, if you just take your brain out your brain and put my brain in your brain, you'll be just fine. But if you go into this thinking your way is the best way, or you're going to figure it out, you're going to lose. So my first 30 days were very good, but if I'm honest, I did the work. I literally did the work because I didn't come right from my old company. I took about a year and a half off the industry, and I got heavy into personal development. I got heavy into working on myself harder than my job. I got heavily to focus on my habits. I got heavily to focus on mental toughness. So I knew if it's up to me, it's up to me. If I have to win, it's my fault. If I lose, it's my fault. I never was like confused about that. So Andrew gave me some very old leads that had coffee stains on them because I was broke. And I wasn't broke, but like, when you're on a budget, your rent money, your car money, or lead money.
Yeah.
Leads won't win.
Yeah.
So he gave me some really old leads. And I knew that I'm not in the office space. There's no accountability. I'm not a Harvard graduate. I don't have the best habits in business. Let me put myself to the flame to do well. I got on his FFL USA Facebook Live group. It was probably like less than 1,000 people in there. And I dialed live my first time calling ever.
Wow, man.
So, and they thought I did good. Like Trey and all them to this day say it was great. I was getting away free pies and making customers laugh. I only booked 5 appointments. I thought I sucked. They like, that was the best year, da-da-da. And I'm like, bro, 5 appointments. It wasn't that good. And I went out there, and if I'm honest, I damn near got no-show every person. Like, I've probably seen one, like if you guys are looking for like, this is easy, scroll. It was very challenging for me. I didn't anticipate that. I got in my car, and it was around 3:40 in the afternoon. And I was like, this is some bleep. This is why their comp is so high. And then I proceeded to scroll. I was so busy, I was scrolling my car. And I'm like, they're not making kind of money. You know what? I'm gonna go door knock to show them that if I fail, I did everything they said to do.
Yeah.
And most people, Jermaine, you know that they're gonna do what they think they should do and call our phone and say it does not work. I wanted to make sure the next time I talk to Andrew or Sean, I can check off my list. I called for 300 dials. Actually, I called for 7 hours. I've knocked on 50 doors. I did everything you guys said to do. Fix me, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to knock on like 18 doors, sold like 9 policies, wrote like 12,000 in 5 hours. Got home at like 11 p.m. AIL days or whatever, great company. The days and 11 p.m. got home like, this is amazing. Then that was on a Wednesday. Andrew may call me like Thursday. You know, Andrew's got more poker face. He used to be really goofy.
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, you making sales? I'm like, you know, I did. He was like, how much you make? I'm like, around like, you know, 9 or 12,000, something like 9 or 10,000. He was like, you get deposited? I'm like, yeah. He was like, how does it feel? I said, feel good, bro. Because I sold insurance somewhere prior.
Yeah.
Did that same amount of work. Put that same door knocking script to use, same effort to use. And I made less than half of that. And he knew that. He knew that. So that was my first week. And then I actually sold more than that because I sold at 12,000. Then I went out the next 2 days and just door knocked and wrote 8 more thousand. So I basically door knocked my first 2 weeks. I knew that I talk fast from urban, all the excuses I want to give myself. I'm not from this country. I don't have this. I don't have that. That I have all those things like you. Yeah. I knew if I door knock, it's gonna help me get to the bottom line quicker. Yeah. And it's funny because Suhail Hamid, who hired Alondra and Josh, same obstacle with him, from a different country, very bad at English. Phone was hard for him. He door knocked for 2 months straight. Didn't call ever, just door knocked. So for me, man, like getting started, it wasn't the easiest path, but I'll tell you what, when you face the hardest thing you can face your first week in business, it creates a certain kind of grit in you. First day of school, you fight the biggest bully, but you have a great year at school, you know? So that's why I looked at it.
Yeah, for real. And that's so important in this business. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people would have just quit instead of, you know, resolve the leads at all costs, right? Sometimes it's, what do you call it? It's doing whatever it takes. Yeah, it looks like you're muted there. There we go. So it's like, sometimes it's doing whatever it takes to be successful. And it's like going the extra mile. It's like, okay, this didn't work. What else can I do? Instead of this didn't work, let me quit and roll over. How much of that had to do with just the mindset of you having to work on yourself that year? Was did that have a lot to do with it?
If I'm honest, 110%, because if you read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, so over here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that too. If there's any books you recommend that.
Oh yeah, man, hella books I recommend. But Napoleon Hill talks about that, Think and Grow Rich, the art of going the extra mile. You have to render more service than what you get paid to do. That is consistent from the book, the good book, to every book behind me. You have to be comfortable with doing more work than what you get paid to do for a period of time. So I knew going into this, the caveat had to be hard work. It wasn't no team swapping or best lead vendors. None of that was even like a tone 3 years ago. So if I'm gonna win this business, it is me. So 100%, bro. And not that I was some guru at all. I was just used to it. I was used to expecting myself to show up. And I had rituals. I had habits, things that I did in my morning, in my night that fortified myself to my day. So I wasn't starting my day, and I don't start my day today from a defensive perspective. I'm on offense every day. I get up early, goals, gratitude lists, affirmations, all that. I ran a mile this morning on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever what was that, on Instagram. I ran a mile. Hot as hell in Texas. It's hot, but I have to, because the second I take a day off and get back like I want to get my old self, it's a wrap, bro. Things that are small might seem real big, and that's the difference between you and me and someone brand new, that they see a hang up on the phone. What definition do they give that?
Yeah.
Me, it means yes. If I get in the field, I can door knock today. Yes. Activity, yes. Activity means paychecks, not the leads are bad. What, they're all bad now? I don't think that way. I mean, I don't. And if you think that way, what you're telling me is that you have not spent enough time yet on working on your mental skill set of toolbox, ways of looking at things. Sean called that perspective a lot.
Yeah, 100%. I like what he said. One of the things he says that I really like, when he talks about interrogate reality. And sometimes that's, so vital in what we do to get yourself. Because would you agree, Claude, this business really, I mean, the blocking and tackling is pretty straightforward. What is a challenge is the mindset behind this business and staying in the game mentally. And that's why I like to look at what we do like athletes, man. I admire Tom Brady because of the fact that he stays in the game mentally, no matter what's happening. It could be the fourth quarter, he could be down by 30 points, but he's got that look and that mindset that I'm gonna find a way to win. And that is transferable to this business. Would you agree?
I agree, and mindset too, but at the same time, telling them no to tell yourself yes. You're gonna have to tell people no to die with your head down. You're gonna have to say no to care what people think about you. You're gonna have to say no to a lot of things to say yes to yourself. But the good news is your partner's gonna still be there. The girl, the guy, the club, the PlayStation, the drink, the bottle of weed, it's gonna be there still. So how about you just go yes for yourself for 30, 90 days? So I'm constantly going to war with myself. Hey, who can I tell no today? Okay, them no, them yes. Now there's a reason why I'm telling them person no, but you have to protect your space. We call it early on protecting your downtime. If you doing this and doing, because soon as soon as you get self-employed, now everybody needs you to go store for them. or need you to watch their cat and dog, or need you to come do a honeydew list. If you worked at Walmart, they wouldn't do that to you. And I think we don't know how to tell people no. So there's a book called The Power of the Word No, great book. But in that book, it talks about this phrase where you go, I can't say yes right now. If something changed, I'll let you know. Hey, Jermaine, can't come in right now. Anything changed, brother? I'll let you know. That's powerful because a lot of us are overcommitting to things. We're overcommitting and like we're like trying to, and you can't do all that and be successful. It's just hard unless you have hella staff, and you probably don't yet. So it's like you have to be able to say no.
I'm writing that down. That's powerful because it's so true. I remember Paul McLean, one of my first trainings I went to, Paul McLean was saying, he talked about, hey, a lot of people get in this business and they're all excited because they're coming from W-2 to entrepreneurship. And now they think, man, I'm self-employed. I could run, I could do what I want and I could work when I want. And you end up being unemployed instead of self-employed because you don't have a consistent schedule, which allows you to be successful. And can you talk a little bit about that? Because you just touched on it, but can you dig into that as far as schedule wise and how important it is to be consistent with that, what that looks like part-time versus full-time?
Nice. So I'm big on like tools and YouTube because I don't know it all. Most things I say are ripped from someone else, right? Brian Tracy has a book called Eating the Big Frog. If you have a hard time managing your schedule, it's a 3-hour listen on YouTube or buy the Audible book, 3 hours less than binging your favorite show on Netflix. You will have a great blueprint how to manage your schedule. 3 big tips from there. It's called that's a lot of books. That's a lot. I'm with you. Maybe we'll see. It's a lot. All of them. But that book is called Eating the Big Frog by Brian Tracy. Eating the Big Frog, Brian Tracy. It talks about intentionality. So we have to write down the top 20 things on a Sunday night I need to do for Monday. From 20 things, probably 5 of those are major money-making activities. Those 5 things I'm gonna do first Monday morning. So if you have a heart, so kind of coupling what you get into what you asked me exactly, part-time versus full-time, first identifying what time you're on. Either full-time, part-time. Because, hey man, Jermaine, I'm gonna grind, bro. I'm gonna kill me Hall of Fame, but I'm gonna work weekends only. Well, how does that go together? So I think some people want to be, when we're trying to hire them on, recruit them on, bring them on, they want to say the right things. They can grind it out. They can work 80 hours a week. For sure, I'm with you. Let's put that on paper first. Let's start with a schedule. So what time you're going to dial? What time you're going to do this? I block it out. But what's the more important, because that's a micro look. A macro look is, what is your goal going to be? You want to make 20K a month? I'm telling you, if you do X, Y, Z, figure out how to do it. You figure it out. You make those kind of calls, you'll hit it. Versus, hey, do this. I try not to do micro a lot, because then you have more gray area, and everyone's circumstance is bigger. It's different. And we're talking like, we have, last month, 500 writing agents, right? Probably that I work with directly, maybe 180 or 210, 16 leaders, 12 VPs. I can't have enough time in the world probably to micromanage everybody. So I learned Sean early on, he never gave me help with small details, only the big picture. It was left up to me to figure out how to do it. Now, because I understand that's entrepreneurship, I embrace that. I never look for a handout or to do it for me. So I'll identify my top 20 things and top 5 things that are money-making activities. I would, 1, get up earlier. I'm a big fan of the book. It's by Hal Elrod. You probably read for it, Miracle Morning. Talk about that, how to get up early and get things going. You want to have a full cup of water with your phone outside the room, your list of things to do, your glass of water, and your phone, all over there. You're going to get up, drink the water first, no matter what. Look at the list, no matter what. Chances are you ain't going back to sleep. So by you walking across your room, hitting that alarm clock, what you'll find is that you feel more energized. So I'm going to have my list the night before. I'm going to have my morning early rituals already set up. And third thing, who are you helping out? If you're part-time, if you teach this to a new hire you're going to make, you're going to do it better. Most agents don't blow up because they don't hire. That's why. Because all your problems are just your problems. You will do more for them than you do for yourself in a good way. So why not hire early on and be so busy trying to help them? And when I did that, that's what happened with Suhail and Hamid. He was so much a worker like me, probably hardworking than me, if I'm honest. And he was so much of a needy guy in a good way. Yeah. Like, hey, I'll show up. What's your address? I'm here now. I'm outside, bro. It's 8 o'clock. Okay, I'll get up now. That's how I was though. So he made me work harder. So a lot of people aren't thriving because they aren't helping nobody else. So if you're part-time, I believe it's whatever. I don't make it an hours thing. Your financial number, we're gonna work that number backwards. Most people part-time say they happy with $5,000 a month extra. You or 5,000 families, right? You should be able to do that. Weekend warrior, I believe. If you suck at dialing, I dare you to door knock Saturday and Sunday. That's all. I dare you to. I can guarantee there is not one person in this group that will door knock for a month straight, Saturday and Sunday, 8 hours a day, like a job, and then have not more than 5K next month issue paid. You probably have like 15, 20K, truth be told. Because if you door knock enough times, you're getting so calloused and you're getting so great at the business and you're not lazy. So you'll win by default. If you're full-time, same thing. If you're full-time, I believe you should spend, you have to be writing 30K a month. If you're not writing 30K a month, which is probably 15,000, you gotta ask yourself, what are you really doing? Because you probably aren't making, if you're honest, like I get it, if you're honest, you're not dialing like you say you're dialing. If you have a hard time dialing, I dare you to door knock. Watch how fast you get good to business. You get good very fast.
Absolutely. It's funny how those skill set, I remember doing that when I got started, and I didn't think about that until you just mentioned that, but it was like all hands on deck, man. I'm calling, I'm door knocking, and I'm doing it all, and it helped me hone my skill set. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. It's like you drag it out, it takes you longer to learn the skill set. But if you compress it and put in a high amount of activity, you will be so surprised at how much better you get at this business, right? So that's a phenomenal.
That's 110% correct. You have to do a lot of activity in a small period of time. That's why personally, because I felt myself around 150 a month, 200 a month, get kind of like, not complacent, but like kind of bougie, like where I just buy more leads, right? So I told myself, I'm gonna effing door knock every Saturday, no matter what. I door knock for 2.5 years, every Saturday. Even when I wrote 20, 30K, I was still on doors every Saturday. And you don't believe, as kitchens, we're on each other's ear, in the earbuds, talking to each other, door knocking, because we're just like, bro, we gotta figure this out. And I knew as long as I stayed hungry and stayed dangerous, like stay like on the edge, I'd be okay. The second I get like comfortable, wasting leads, wasting money, getting too good for my own britches, I'm one wrong day away. And I still think that way. That's why I personally recruit still in the streets. Like, hey, come here, you. Because who knows, he may blow up.
Yeah.
I
love it, man. Well, since you're talking about door knock, real quick, Elaine said she loved that door knock tip. And Mia, we're going to get to your question here in a second. But what do you say when you get to the door and you're door knocking, just for everybody's benefit? What does that sound like?
So I always have the lead or the carrier form. I blew my carrier form up probably like this big, and I laminated mine. So I would almost look like a door-to-door sales guy. I'd have my tassel with me, and I would knock on the door. Hey, Mike, I'm Claude. I'm about to request you made online, huh? And I'm handing the paper to him. I'm giving little pieces at a time. Hey, Mike, I'm Claude. I'm about to request you made online. The request, where you put down your address is 55 Main Street and your hobby is golf. Yeah, the benefit that you pass away, they cover the cost. I'm saying this as they have this in their hand. When they have it in their hand, I have officially bought their time. They're not going to drop it. They're not going to do that. I have never had one person, I've had them I've never had one person drop it, ever. Not even one time, or steal it. Not one time. They always go, let me get my glasses. I go, yeah, that was the one you made online. So if you pass away, it covers all the costs. Yeah, so I'm just downplaying myself. I'm just underwriter. They had me doing a death claim, or they had me helping a family around the corner. Want to stop by and make sure to get you yours. I gotta go there in like an hour. I can knock yours out in 10 minutes. Can I stay inside or outside? I will always try to make it seem like I'm really busy. I don't have time. I can knock it out quick if that's cool. And I look at with my face too. My facial expressions are always on point. My hands, my posture. If it's hot, can I have some water? Oh, come on in. Got him. If so, knock, knock. Hey, Mike, I'm Claude. I'm here about to request you made online. Request. Yeah, the one you made. So if you pass away, cover the cost. Well, I made that. Yeah, the one where you put down, let me check my phone. Sorry about that. You put down golf is your hobby, and you put down address, obviously 55 Main Street, correct? Yeah, but I don't know how much it costs. Exactly. So I actually got an appointment around the corner. I was in the area. Here, let's do this. They're in like an hour. I can just give you yours right now. Just for my boss, so I did my job. Got some water. I've been so thirsty so much. Oh, come on in. Boom. Always come with the water, because they're gonna always say come in. And even if I don't drink it, it's a way to get in the house. I'm sneaky. I gotta get in. I gotta get in the house. Let me in.
I love it, man. That's awesome. I hope you guys are taking notes, man. I'm here taking notes myself, and that's one tip that I don't think enough people take advantage of. This call, yes, it's recorded, but make sure you're taking notes because you retain the information better when you write it down. You're hearing it, you're processing it, you write it down, you're reinforcing it. So grab a pen and paper because we got about 10 more minutes of his time, and I'm sure he's going to share some more.
And two more tips though. I got this from Richard. He'll pull up on the lead. He'll write down 4 p.m. on the lead. He'll knock on the door and say, "Hey, I'm here for our 4 p.m. appointment." If they see 4 p.m. on the lead, I'm here for our 4 p.m. They're like, I made the request, but let's come on in. It's really how you say things. Like a lot of folks fall into the trap of showing a refusal form at a door knock right away. I never do that because you're gonna give them a way of going, all right, I'll sign it, bye. So I'll go, my job, blah, 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 blah. And they go, well, no, I changed my mind. I'm trying to probe still to find a trigger to come in like, oh, got it. I never overtalk. I sound confused. Change your mind about death or, oh, you mean I'm not interested anymore? Yeah, so what they have me do, Mike, is just come out because this is a once a year program where they waive a lot of the health questions and they waive the physical. So we're required to get out our hands. If you don't want it because it's a state regulated benefit, this refusal form says you can't get it again. So most people take their rate because it's good for a whole year versus lose the program. And I do it like that with my hand a lot. People are very visual. The second you just talk like me, hella fast, hella urban, they're like, what the heck? But if you can slow it down, use your hand, and do things like this or like this, they get what you're saying. I sold insurance to plenty of people who spoke no English because I do this and this very well. You pass away, they pay out. You don't pay, they don't pay out. We know how to understand that.
Yeah, very straightforward, man. That's some good tips, man. I'll take a break to answer Mia's question here. Did you ever pay to help get people started, i.e. paying for their state exam, buying them leads? What's your answer to that?
Great. So we do pay for their license. I'm sure you as well. So pay for that part. I like Zach Trudowski's approach to paying for leads. Hey, Tom, if you show up here, do this and do this, I got you a leads. If you don't show up and do this and do that, there ain't no leads. Now, granted, if you are selling me a high volume anyway, which you probably are, you have a lot of leads anyway. So I give new hires when I was really like on the field still selling like every day still, I literally like gave them my old leads, like a welcome package when they came on. Like, here's some leads to call. Now, did I go to the CRM and buy 100 leads for every? No, I did not. No, because what happens is if you give your brand new, I give my son here, my nephew here, keys to the Corvette, he gonna crash it. He has not earned or have the self-discipline behind that car. So Mia, I would have a things, if I'm gonna give them anything, if you do this, this, and this, I got you. Or I ask somebody from the start, Mia, if I told you, give me $1,000 today, and I'll give you $5,000 next week, would you do it? Of course. Well, but I don't have it now. Well, how much do you have now? Well, I have 500. So if you're getting 500, you take 1,000. Great. I promise you, Mike, you give me, you give $500 on leads. You call, like I say, call, come to my office, get on Zoom, resolve leads, don't knock leads, watch these videos. I guarantee you, you'll make that $1,000. If you do it in front of me and don't make it, I'll take care of you. Because I know, and Jermaine knows, likelihood of them doing all those steps and not making it is a bet we're willing to take.
Yeah, 100%.
I've never had not one person, not even one, that said, okay, I'll do it, did it, and didn't hit their mark. Not one time in 3.5 years. Not even one time. Not even one. Now, I have bought lease people a lot, and they had done nothing with the leads. It's a crime and shame. So don't do that. I'm
Amen
being
to
real.
that. No, 100%. That's the only way we like it. This is real talk, because we're very transparent, very open. We want people to succeed. So, good stuff, man. Talk to me a little bit about your mindset behind your phone script, because I love your mindset behind the door knock. What's your mindset behind your phone script?
My mindset behind the phone script is to get on and off the phone. I'm only trying to sell the drop off. A big mistake people make on the phone, if you're going to sell in person still, what happens is you try and make the insurance really important, make it sound sexy, ask questions, smoking, non-smoking, tobacco, non-tobacco, color car you got, color house you got. That sounds very good. I like sounding like it's already out for delivery. I'm calling just to verify you're there to get it at 4 o'clock. So what that sounds like is this: bring, bring. Hey, Jermaine. Hey, Jermaine, this is Claude giving you a call back about the request you made online in regards to your state regulated insurance option. That ring a bell? Yes, no, no, huh? Okay, it says here you put down your address, 55 Main Street, and your birthday of 6686. Nice. So because you're on Main Street, they have your benefit out for delivery tomorrow, and you should get dropped off, okay? Okay, perfect. They have an afternoon or an evening. What's best? Evening? Cool. 5 or 4. I'm a big fan of giving people bits of information first, not throwing up on their lap. Hey, Claude, this is Mike calling. Like, click. Hey, Mike, this is Claude. Give me a call back. How are you doing? I'm doing great, Claude. How may I help you? Yeah, hey, I'm giving you a call about the request you made here in my office in regards to your, looks like it's a mortgage protection option, your home loan for $300,000. That ring a bell? Yeah, it does. Okay, you put down your address of 55 Main Street and your loan amount $400,000, right? Perfect. So, Mike, because you're on Main Street, they have the information out for delivery tomorrow. Okay? I need them to go okay. Once they go okay, I go, got it. So because you're on Main Street, they have an afternoon or an evening drop-off time. What best get in your hands? Morning or afternoon? Then I have them write it down. I end my calls with giving them a pie or making them laugh. Because when you start a relationship off of giving, they're gonna give you more of their time. So if I book Jermaine, I go, night, Jermaine. Well, because it's going to springtime, I'm gonna bring you a free apple pie or a free cherry pie. What's your favorite, apple or cherry? He's gonna laugh for one. He gave me now emotion with me, so now he remembers me more because he got emotional. Laughter is emotion. He laughed. A pie? Are you serious? Absolutely. Apple or cherry? Well, I guess cherry then. All right, man. See you at 4 o'clock. Claude Perry, cherry pie. What happens is they're curious about who you are now. They're gonna be there. You get in their home, give them a free pie when you walk in. They're like, oh my gosh, you brought it. That's so funny. Right away, you're on the right track. Right away. So pies, or I go, hey, just in case you get shocked when I get there, I kind of look like Tom Cruise. So, don't be surprised. And they're gonna laugh like, are you serious? And I'm opposite Tom Cruise. I know that. I need them to be a little curious. Hey, I get there, I might look like, Denzel, but it's okay. Don't be surprised. Denzel, okay. It just whatever I come to my mind, I say it. But it always helps making them laugh. When you make someone laugh, this is a great term I learned a while back. Funny makes money.
Love that.
You make them laugh, you getting paid. Look at a car salesperson. Good mood, making you laugh, keep you in a good mood. They're trying to get a deal. We gotta make people laugh a lot to get a deal, I believe.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I told y'all you should have some notes. That's awesome. So then let's talk in-home then, Claude. Because especially if you're door knocking and you're able to help protect the family on the spot. What are some of the things that you do? What's your mindset? A little bit of your in-home tips.
It's very important. I think most people that don't get a sale don't set the table properly. It's very important the customer knows what's about to take place. That's what we call in sales earning the right to buy. We have to let them know, hey, my job is simple, Mike. Today, I'm gonna do health questions and help you choose your beneficiary. So when, not if, when you pass away, I'm doing little thing like this on my, I drop little nuggets like that in my presentation, so they start thinking like me. Like, yeah, you're right, I'm gonna die. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Mike, my job is simple, man. I'm an underwriter. It's my job to do health questions today and help you choose your beneficiary. So when you pass away, they know who to give the money to. Now, Mike, if you're not, in the best health, and we do try and get you covered, and the company says no, I work with all these guys here, so we can find you an option. Fair enough? Perfect. Now, Mike, if you do get approved, and you go, hey, you know what? When I die, I don't care what she does. She can figure it out. You'll refuse it with this form right here. Let my boss know I did my job, and you're out the system. Is that clear? Yeah, but tell you, I'm just looking, right? Correct. You're looking. You're putting down your health questions and your beneficiary. If you get approved, they mail you the policy. If you don't get approved, it's my job to call these guys and go to bat for you. If you do get approved, Mike, and you go, hey, you know what? When I die, I don't care. She can figure it out. You'll refuse it because I'm not allowed to call you over and over again. Is that clear? He needs to say yes to that for me to continue. If he goes, well, yeah, but you know how it is. I never make a decision on the first time. I ask my lawyer, my brother-in-law, I pray about it. They do. I go, I'm the same way, man. I'm always agreeing with them. I'm the same way. My job is simple. I'm an underwriter. These companies make it bigger than you. These companies have me do their health questions. If you get approved, they made a policy automatically. If you don't get approved, it's my job to call these guys and find you an option. Now, Mike, if you get approved and you go, hey, you know what? When I die, I don't care. She figured it out. You'll refuse it. But I'm not allowed to leave 1,000 pieces of paper behind. Calling you later. Is that clear? We had a contest a year ago, my team, of how many times they record. Because in my home presentation, I recorded them all. And my team, they have an app where they can listen to all recordings over and over again. They have counted me saying that in the home 60 times. 60. That's my own rebuttal. My job is simple, bro. I'm an underwriter, health question beneficiaries. If you get approved, great. If not, I got you. If you do get approved and you don't want it, you refuse it, and I'm gone. That's the only rebuttal you need. You start getting tricky. Oh, you apply today, but if you don't want it, we'll cancel it. You get like that with somebody in the home with that, like, no, your credit card, just in case. Banking, no, I need it just in case. They know you're lying. So my customers know that we're sitting down today because you're going to get insurance or you're going to refuse it. I'm fine with them going, yep, I'll go through with it. If it's great, I'll get it. If it's not, it's not. I'm fine with that. But my mindset, it starts and ends with how you set the table. Because if I have a brand new agent do it their own way, they're going to get questions that I don't get in the home. I'm like, bro, I don't know how to answer that objection because I would have said this in the beginning. So I don't get that problem. So I think if we all learn how to set the tone better and not be afraid to have brevity, which is the art of saying things good, the art of saying things multiple ways. I can say the same thing 10 ways. The more you get good at doing that, what you'll find that the customer thinks you're telling the truth, because you are. If you're telling a false fallacy, you're just like saying different thing every time, different thing. I'm saying the same thing. I'm the same way. I agree with you. That's how things were in the past. I love my job because this program is state regulated, which means, Mike, I do health questions and beneficiaries only today. If you get approved, the company mails your family the coverage. If you don't get approved, it's my job to go to bat for you with these companies. Now, if you get approved and you go, hey, you know what? I don't want it. I don't care about her. She'll figure it out. That's on you guys to decide. You'll refuse it, so you're out the system, so you can't buy it later, and no one bugs you. Is that clear? Most folks like hearing that.
Nice, man. I love it. That's huge right there. I can see implementing that and being able to make sure that, because I used to say and still do, that sale is really made within the first 5-10 minutes of being in the house.
I
That's how
agree.
you know, and that's how you can know if you need to get up and leave. If they're going to agree with your process, then that's how you move forward. That's powerful, man. So we'll Claude, thanks again, man. I know I don't want to take up too much of your time. We'll take a couple questions here real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Ashley says, do you have a lot of chargebacks? How do you handle your chargebacks?
Yeah. So I door knock my chargeback. I don't even call them. Like I show up. I show up like I'm their nephew, and I talk about the beneficiary. So I go like, hey, hey, Mike. Knock on the door. Hey, Mike, what's up? He goes, oh, Claude, how you doing? I go, yeah, here. Hey, the policy you put in place for your wife, Kathy, I'm not sure if you know, it's not in force. They're having me come out to make sure, I didn't like do anything wrong at all. I make it about me making a mistake. Never like, do you want to pay a bill still? Like, no, I don't. So I also know a lot of insurance falls off the books either way it go. I don't spend a lot of time trying to resolve the dead. I spend time trying to give new birth. What that means that it's easier to write a new policy in some cases than it is to track Martha and Larry down. Now, I started hiring very early on. We did well very early on. I had a team of 6 agents, my first 6 writing agents. First 4 weeks in the game, 3 weeks. So what I'm saying to say is when I had a policy fall off, I was still making money always. So it never was DEFCON level 6. So I knew early on, hire people early on. So if I do have a chargeback, it will fix itself.
Yeah.
Versus me miss out on my rent.
One question I had for you, because I had this come up today. How do you, so if somebody's struggling in this business, what areas are you telling them to evaluate to see what they might need to tweak or improve to get better? Because that happens. Not everybody gets this out the gate. Some people might get it and then slack off or whatever the case may be. So what do you say to that?
I believe that we start in with our habits. I believe that someone that's struggling, their self-talk probably is not at the high because they're even telling you they're struggling. They should say, I'm going through a process. I'm going through a learning curve right now. What would you recommend I implement to see more success? If they say I'm struggling, their self-talk is bad. Now, we say that on Zoom, he's going to do it still on Monday. So I correct the agent with their self-talk like, I'm with you. All I know is where the focus goes, the energy flows. So I'm very helpful to myself and never say what I don't want. So Mike, do you think you're struggling or you're having just a rough period? Oh yeah, probably a rough period. I'm trying to change the way that agent is thinking about adversity. I'm trying to change the way they're thinking about things so they don't go into this. Because once they go down that rabbit hole, brother, it's very hard. In the military, it's called getting shell shocked, and they would slap them. We can't slap them. It's
Wait, we can't? Dang it.
So I'm trying to be there for them and help them identify what's happening. Are you struggling or going through a learning period? And then I'm going to dissect their habits. How many calls did you make? Now, I always try to make it seem now here's the thing. Jermaine might do this on you guys in a couple of days if you're the agent. I say I have the same problem. Oh, I'm struggling, man. Everyone's telling me no. Man, it's crazy. I have the same problem. What I found when I had that problem, Jermaine, I wasn't buying leads every week. I was calling the same leads 2 weeks in a row. When was last time you bought leads? You're right, man. I bought them 2 weeks ago. Got it. Now, you have no money. They're going to tell you that. So I don't think you should waste time in calling anymore. I know you're tough, Jermaine. I know you want this to work for your family. What I did when I was in that same phase, I door knocked Saturday and Sunday until I made money for leads. Do you think if you door knock 2 weeks in a row, you'll make $1,000? Exactly. And then you can fund your business with that money. So let's do this. let's get on the phone together Saturday at 7 o'clock on your way to your first door knock. Can you commit to that? John, what more gets people to commit to small steps at a time? So can you commit to calling me at 7 a.m.? Can you commit to coming to the office? Can you commit to me doing the small steps? So I get them to one, look at how they're thinking. I get them to look at how they're seeing something. And then I want to meet them where they're at. I have the same problem. I was even if I'm lying, I have the same problem. When I have that problem, I know it's because I wasn't buying fresh leads. In fact, I watch a lot of videos. This is more of an online way to say it. I watch a lot of videos in FFL. They have the same problem. What they said was that when they had that problem, they weren't buying fresh leads. When did you buy leads last? Oh, well, you know, Got it. I'm not saying call them and grind it out. That won't work. Because you tried that. Because you're making 800 plus calls. I know you are, right? I know you are. So that ain't gonna work no more. Do you think if you door knocked 2 weeks in a row, you're right at least $1,000? Well, you know, but I know you're doing it for your family. I know you don't care nobody think about you. I know you want this to work. Do you think, see, because they're doubting themselves.
Yes.
I'm reaffirming them. Do you think if you did X, Y, and Z, you would make X, Y, and Z? Well, let's do this. Let's start there. Call me Saturday morning. I'm gonna put an alarm on my phone. Call Mike 7 a.m. and meet him where he's at.
That's powerful, man. I love what you said. You said there, never say what you don't want. That's so crucial when it comes to self-talk. I mean, you win the battle with self-talk, in my opinion, man. That alone right there will get you miles down the road.
Yeah.
So
there's a book by Neville Goddard that's called Feeling is the Secret. And it's on Audible. I mean, I'm a big fan of Audible on YouTube. I mean, you can Google a book on YouTube, it's probably on YouTube. But Neville Goddard, Feeling is the Secret, talks about that, the power of the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. A lot of us are focusing on things that we don't want, but you're focusing on things you don't want. So you get those things over and over again because your mind is going to birth what you give it.
Powerful, man. Powerful. And anything else you want to wrap up with, Claude, and then we'll call it a wrap here.
You know, I'm going to just speak life to everyone on this call right now because at the end of the day, like the biggest problem is we think we shouldn't have problems. Our biggest obstacle thing that we should have no obstacles. You have to know that when you're working out at the gym, your muscle is getting torn. You're tearing muscle tissue. It's very painful. Lactic acid comes into play when you're overworking yourself. That's how you get bigger. We have to change the way we look at adversity. You have to almost look forward to adversity. You have to program yourself to doing opposite of what everyone else is doing. You have to program yourself to not judging yourself, to not having negative self-talk. The best way to defend that is writing down the negative self-talk. Write it down for 90 seconds and then rewrite how you want it to look instead and burn the old copy and write how you want things to go over and over again until you feel better. That may sound corny. That does work. Got that from Bob Proctor at a live event. That does work. When you're sitting there trying to stop thinking about things, stop thinking about things, stop thinking about things, you're still thinking about it. It makes it worse. You're affirming it to yourself. Change what you're focusing on. Start writing down what you want. Now you're focusing on that and you're gonna feel better. And you have to have faith. Faith is hoping things hoped for without being seen. You are a self-employed person for a reason. Because out of all your friends and family, you're the different one. You're the one that was always positive. You had solutions. You were innovative. You were all those things to them. Now you have to keep doing that times 10. The same thing that got you here won't get you to the next level. You have to really get serious about your habits and hiring more people. When you hire more people, it grows a life outside of you. The second you are doing things for other people, you will take off. So that's all I got. I appreciate you, brother. I mean, you're killing it. You've always been killing it. You know, you definitely have the growing business. You know, you have the mindset for it. That's one thing I think people take for granted in this business, is having a great leader. And if you guys have one like y'all doing Jermaine, like, rock with him, listen to him. Just, I'm telling you, if you can just ride people's coattails sometime, you'll be fine. Because he has to, for him to hit integrity, y'all gotta grow. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. So it ain't like he can just make it on his own. He's telling you guys what it really is. What it really is. Even if it doesn't feel good, it's not supposed to, because it's different than what you're already doing. If y'all were gonna think alike, you would have hired him. So I appreciate you a lot, brother. Anything for me,
And
let me know.
I appreciate you even more, man. I appreciate you even more. And thanks for speaking life into the agency. Thanks for pouring your heart out on this call, being absolutely transparent. I mean, I can't pay you back for this one. I appreciate it. But this one's going to be on replay. This is, and this is posted in the chat. This is going to be one of the ones you want to listen to on run days, on dial days, and let this thing sweep over you and pour into you. Claude, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for joining, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, appreciate you.
All right.